देखिए टॉपिक इस तरह से है तो सबसे पहले हम आगाज करेंगे अपने शो का with the national anthem and for that we have Alyssa in the studios with us. Hi Alyssa. Okay, we started again and here it is.
What so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad streets and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
That you do.
All right, yeah.
Before we go any further, let me introduce the co-host for The Bridge today, Jan Taylor. Hello, Jan.
Hi there. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much for making sure that we have this format on The Bridge where we are showing our veterans that we care.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Some of the messages that I received today when I floated the message and the topic, and those who haven't had a chance to actually go ahead and check it out, you can go onto the official Radio The Bung page and you can see the flyer, the poster that we made for the show today. There's a live broadcast going on the official Radio The Bung page as well. You can check it out. We have a lot of messages here, Jan, that I'd like to start the show off with. And then, of course, we're going to be introducing our guests for today. One of our contributors, Anand, says, my dad was in the Air Force and my in-laws are all in the Army. So I was brought up in a veteran atmosphere. I have seen up close and personal what they go through in personal and professional life. They had to, at all times, sacrifice personal life and live out for extended periods away from their families. They see a higher purpose and the sense of calling compared to money or anything else. The services provided by veterans with absolute determination are priceless. There is a tremendous risk, knowing full well they may have to pay ultimate price with their lives. We salute every veteran for what they do. Malik Jamal, thank you so much. Honoring all the veterans, thank you so much for your service and sacrifice. We are forever grateful.
Oh, yes. Ooh, yes.
Rashmi came in with a message saying that they have a lot of benefits, but particularly for the disabled, they should have more benefits. Obviously, Jan will talk about that in the show later today.
Yes.
Manisha says, Manisha Gandhi, they are respected and not forgotten. We appreciate their sacrifices for the country. Mia Nazir says, veterans are like medals to the nation they serve. These selfless souls protect and serve while most of us not even think about the conflict they are facing. They want the nation to be a better place for the people in its mission. Veterans, most of them are highly loyal and their sense of duty is unmatched. As a nation, we need to serve them better than we do as of now. As medals, they should not be filed away in drawers and cleaned up when it is time to show off. These souls need and deserve respect. Zan says, thank you for all your sacrifice to make this world a better place. Also, the government should give them more opportunities to sustain other services as well. Nurani says that we thank them for protecting our country. They are being sometimes used for the benefits of politicians. But when they come back, the government don't care for them as much as they should do.
Yes, we want to talk a lot about that as well.
Thank you so much for all your messages. We're going to make sure that if you participate, you can also leave your messages via WhatsApp on 713-974-4000. I'll be taking those messages, of course, on the show. Welcome to The Bridge. If you have just joined in, thank you so much. Today is episode number 15, and we are showing the veterans that we care, who we have teamed up with. Also in the studios, we have Rashim Muhammad with us. Hello, Rashim, and welcome to The Bridge.
Hello. Thanks for having me. How's everyone?
Very well. Thank you so much. Jan, tell our listeners what is happening here. What was the whole idea? How did it all start off?
Oh, wow. Well, it started out, first of all, from the premise that's strongly in my mind because of Revitalized Communities, my company, and that is that we go out and create projects to revitalize underserved communities. And while thinking about that, one day I happened to see a program where I call him, he's also known as Eli. So if you hear Eli, it's the same person, Eli Rashim. I heard a program where he was being honored and spoken highly of for doing so much, going beyond the call of duty for the veterans. And that is that he created steps of a technology center, and he'll tell you more about that. But they were honoring him, how it was strategically done. When I say that, I mean there's a lot of programs that are out there to help the veterans. But what Eli seems to me has done that sets him apart is that he has created programs with a thought pattern behind it. And I can see this for myself because I have a lot of family members that were in the service, and particularly when they come back, the things that they did where they were stationed are totally different than what they do or what they are able to do when they get here. So Eli put that into perspective because he's a veteran, so he knew what it felt like to come back. And you want a job, but they're not applicable to what you were doing when you were somewhere stationed. So he'll talk to you more about that, and that's where it all came. And I realized, wow, he lines up with what Dabang is all about, creating an atmosphere that people understand we are the community station and we're reaching out to all. So here we are.
Wow, Eli, thank you so much. You know, it feels such an honor for you being here in the studios with us and sharing your experience and what you're doing for the entire community and for the veterans. That's great. Radio Dabang, yes, as Jan mentioned, is always, trying to reach out to the community to hold hands. And the whole format and the theme behind the bridge is building bridges between all the gaps that exist.
Right.
So thank you. Tell us about yourself. Tell the listeners, just be candid, be open. They're listening,
like,
open your heart out to them.
Yeah.
I was like, how do you start?
Just start by telling them a little about you and if like places maybe that you were servicing when you were in the service and how you started EDS.
EDS was started based on an opportunity to kind of make some corrections. And so what I did is I took all the hurdles and things that I had question marks about when I was searching for opportunities for veterans. And, I created the Triple E, which dealt with employment, education, and entrepreneurship. And we were discussing how those are the bridges to building and stabilizing a community.
Right.
Exactly.
And so as veterans, we make up about 10% of the United States population.
Wow.
And about 10% of the Houston market as well.
Wow.
At about 300,000. So
that's huge.
Yeah. So it was plenty of opportunities for improvement. We do have benefits out there. We want to make sure that they're connected with the communities, from a business aspect to an education aspect to employment. So that's how I ended up getting to create this particular platform, and then got some financial support behind it.
So can you tell us a little bit in detail, like what specifically, like choose maybe the ones on the top of the board, which what I love is the drones. So we are a special trades construction company.
Optic. Yeah, we have a niche market where we deal with special trades construction, and that's telecommunication, fiber optics, drones, cybersecurity, and construction inspection. So we came up with a neat little idea of tying in drone tech to your everyday jobs to upskill you. So we're currently working on that platform right now, which is pretty stringent because it deals with the FAA. So think about you going out and being an inspector of a home.
Okay.
And now you actually have a drone on your backpack, so you don't have to climb on that roof and look around that roof.
Gotcha.
You can actually take pictures of that. And we're looking at opportunities of drones expanding.
Okay.
What does that look like?
And what about like I think I heard you say something about film production.
Yeah, we could tie that into film production as well. So, unbeknown to a lot, the military is pretty much a mirror of what the United States is. We have the top education, right? 'Cause
exactly.
It goes to the military first. Any technology that you're currently using today probably was in the military before it hit.
People don't know that, but that's really true.
They don't know. And so,
I've seen enough X-Files to know that.
Yeah, if you look at X-Files, if you look around,
exactly.
Most of the stuff you use, we probably
already
tested it and did it before it hits the market, right? So we protect internal and external too. So we have to look at the growth of our communities.
That's interesting. Houston. And to bring that home, this morning I heard something where this is going to make a major point in the community as well. The incident that happened in London, the Inferno, I don't know if it was yesterday or this morning, because I caught the end of it, where they had a really bad fire in a high rise. And the first thing that the fire department said is that once they establish everything, they're going to try to find a way to use drones to go up into the areas that are no longer safe because it's an inferno. They actually burned so much, so humans could not go up there. Now they can really get to and pinpoint accidents like that and see how they can use it for preventing services or purposes.
Right. And that's just to name one. We're in Houston. It floods. And so instead of sending a human down into a canal where there's blockage, you can send a drone out. So we're looking at innovative ways of putting drones even into high schools. We just got approved with Texas Education Agency 2 days ago to start implementing drone tech, engineering, and repairing inside of high schools because they have the mindset for it. We also want to have
that's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, so
that's great. For those of our listeners who have just joined us on air on the Bang FM, you can actually go on to the official Radio The Bang page on Facebook and catch a live broadcast of the show as well. And in case those of you who have not found out what's happening in the studio today is that we had this topic that I think that should have been one of the very topics in the very beginning of the bridge, because these are the people, as I just learned, they are the 10% of our population. We're talking about our veterans today, how much we care about them and what are we doing for them. Talking to various different people, they said we are not doing enough for them. That's a great thing, Jan. We are realizing that, you know, we are not doing enough for them, and it all starts off with a realization.
Exactly. And it's not like I'm saying, pushing it into anyone's face and saying, wow, I'm going to beat you up about it. I think what this sets a platform for us to talk more about this, get it out there more, that we as a people must become more sensitive, that we can't keep waiting for a Veterans Holiday, Memorial Day. There are things that we can do that Eli has in place that we can do to make this thing jump started, send it on its way, and be a part of the implementation while it's going.
Yeah, I think that having platforms like that we have right now, and I'm gonna digress a little bit. My name is Rasheem Muhammad, so it's very interesting to have a Muhammad in the service, and it's also allowed me to open up doors because they could never factor in like, okay, wait a minute, how do you get a Muhammad over? And they didn't realize that it actually gave me access into Niger and other countries in Africa and even Goa to where.
So it was a plus and a minus.
Yeah, it was a plus and a minus. It cancels out when you get on the plane. They look at both like, wait, hold on. How do these two fit together? But I think I'm the walking bridge, and now you have the Debang, which is opening up that platform, and we want to reach out, and anyone that's a U.S. citizen, we protect those particular rights, and we want to make sure to take care of our communities and our people. So thanks for having me again.
Wow. That's right.
We wanted to be here.
That's great. Rasheem Muhammad, who is the managing partner with EDS Tech EE. We're talking about what EE is doing for the veterans today. And we're calling him Eli. That's his nickname.
It's easier to just roll off with that. Yeah,
Eli is right here. And of course, Alyssa is right here in the studios as well. Thank you, Alyssa. She came onwards.
Yay, she did a wonderful job. If you missed her song, we need to end it maybe with a little bit of her.
I think how we're going to end it is that we're going to end it with, we're going to play that again, and she's going to sing for us. Thank you so much once again, Alyssa.
Thank you.
And of course, Jan Taylor is here in the studios, and she is very passionate about revitalizing communities. And when she talks about revitalized communities, it says it all, what she wants to do. She's very passionate about it. And we are very passionate about what our veterans are doing. And especially for somebody who's been there and who knows how difficult it is once you're back from service to adjust back in the society. We have seen so many movies about it that there's depression.
Yes.
You are not making any more new friends because all your friends have moved on. They are doing other stuff.
Exactly.
So there's so much that needs to be done. But most importantly, to make sure that these veterans, when they come back, they have a place in the society. They have a place in the economy.
Yes.
Because that's how they continue their lives and their families as well. So how did it initiate when you thought of doing this whole project? Who did you meet up? Did you team up with your friends? Tell our listeners, they want to know what your experience was, and if there were any disappointments that actually pushed you and fueled you towards doing this.
Oh, right. Legitimate questions and statements. about a couple of years ago, I lost my wife to red bone cancer, which put me
sorry to hear
into
that.
Sorry.
Yes.
homeless vet status, right? And so I said, okay, I never used benefits before. I never used the services from the military. And I said, I'll take an opportunity to go into that and investigate what's
So
happening.
back up so that people really hear and feel what you just said. That particular situation that you experienced with your wife and going through a lot of different things that might not have to come to the table here, but it puts you in a veteran homeless situation.
Right. It put me in a
That's
veteran
deep.
homeless situation. So
Yes.
I had to go get the letters, had to go through that whole process, and then going through the process, I was like, hey, where's my mental checklist? So where
Right.
do I go to get those supportive services? And so you start going on this matrix of trying to figure that
Wow.
out. And I'm like, hey, we can't.
And it should not be like
It
that.
should not. Yeah. So
Yes.
that's why we created this, because it was all the checkpoints. It was like, okay, I was making notes of everything I was going through.
Wonderful.
And then I came back with a solution. Said, well, why don't we do this?
Yes.
And it was picked up.
That's
So-
why I said, we're telling Lena, you're the perfect one to get on this station and talk to us because you went through it.
Yeah.
So it's not like you get a person that's a community leader and never experienced it. When you talk about homelessness, don't say he didn't experience it. He can tell you, I did, and there's a solution to it.
Right, there's a solution to it, and I think anytime you go through something like that, you want to make it better for others.
So you went through all those bumps in the road.
Yeah. So
made
when a vet comes back into service, you got to look at it from their eyes. Going into a world from teamwork, camaraderie.
Yes.
To I got to build new friends, like you were speaking about.
Right.
To how do I transfer the skills I had in the military that I've attained to make them a pivotal.
They don't apply in real life.
Right. So and then some of them do, but you the language is different, right? It's almost
Okay.
like coming to the country trying to learn English
That's
as a
amazing.
second,
You're
because your
right.
language and communication is completely different from civilian people that
Right.
walk around.
That's
Right,
true.
right.
Wow.
So-
Oh my God. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that.
didn't we?
Yes,
So
yes.
now this lets you know this is a major topic that needs a lot more because there's a lot more to share.
I'm
Right,
so
right.
glad that the way you're opening up. A lot of people who are listening to
Yes.
us, and especially let me speak on behalf of the people who are listening in right now. A lot of people who are listening in, obviously, we cater to the Desi community, which is the South Asian community. There are a lot of people from Pakistan, from India, from Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan. Wherever I like to say it, wherever Bollywood movies are watched now, a lot of Chinese people will be, because
Exactly.
Bollywood is big in China now. So maybe
Exactly.
Chinese people listening to us as well. They're
Exactly.
loving
Right,
the
right,
music because we are like a music-based radio station.
Correct.
So all these people, and we are people who have been struggling very hard back home in our countries as well. We've
Right.
been struggling for hundreds of years. To start off with under the Mughal Empire, and then after that
Exactly.
under the British colonization, they've
Correct.
been struggling, and there have been wars, and they have been
Yes.
fighting for freedom. So we understand, and even back home, we respect the veterans. We have special days to celebrate
Right.
the Air Force, the Army, the
Okay.
Navy, and there are places in countries in Pakistan and India both streets and landmarks that are named after wars and after people who have actually served their nations. So we understand what is actually going on through it, and throughout history. I mean, throughout our school years back when we are educated there, we are taught as to how important these people are who give their blood,
Yes.
because we feel that this earth, this land is soaked with the blood of our veterans. So we respect the land just like we respect our mothers as well. Now coming in a country where we have immigrated to for like say 30 years, 40 years maximum, and there are a lot of people here who've been here like only 5 or 10 years. They do not understand a lot about what's going on over here.
Right.
So it's important to tell them.
Yes, yes.
Like we were discussing just before the show started that why you need to employ a veteran. Why you need to do that. You need to create space for these people,
Right.
and also give them on-job training. If you have like 10 people in your company, you need to emphasize that 10% of that, because they're 10% of the population,
Exactly.
has to be for the veterans.
It's interesting
Good
because
concept.
that's a good concept and point, because you have a lot of businesses out here, and there's benefits from working with veterans. First, you got to look at that there are tax dollars already invested into us
Right.
for training and working. So you got someone who's already educated in that area when you do select a veteran or if you do business with a veteran-owned business. So there are incentives that we'll probably talk about at, I guess, a different show time. We can go into that. But we definitely are here to make sure that everyone that's on this turf and territory is protected and that they live a peaceful life.
Wow, that's right. So tell us about the tax credit and other benefits that we were discussing earlier, Jan, before the show started, as to, we do not know about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling, like we said, Lena and I were just kind of out at the cooler talking. So give them a little bit about that.
I'll take lead on that. So you're in the state of Texas, right? And just look at the state of Texas likes to get people to come in. And each state of the union always tries to get a Fortune 500 company to come into their state.
Okay, right.
And Texas is known for oil and gas, telecom and these things. So they try to get them to come to the state. So one of the incentives that they give them is they say, hey, we'll give you what they call as a WOTC, which is a work occupational tax credit. You see companies, your big companies like Walmart, and you see them, hey, we need 10,000 veterans, Comcast, these companies, AT&T. So one of the reasons they do that, they are helping by bringing on the veterans, but they also are getting tax incentives for hiring veterans. So those are tax incentives out for small businesses as well. They are allotted that same ability to have those benefits.
Got it. Because a lot of people from our community are business owners as well.
Correct.
And they have maybe not like large businesses, but medium to small business owners. And I think many of people from our community do want to venture into businesses as well. So this is for them. This is very valuable information for them.
And it's information, like you said, many of them were not privy of. They had no idea.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to set it aside, but we're just saying if we're going to start the campaign, we care about the veterans, get the right information out there.
Right.
And include the
showing the
businesses.
veterans that we care. Rashim Muhammad is right here in the studios with us, and he is a veteran, of course, and he has served the country. Now, what we're trying to do here is Jan Taylor is co-hosting the show with me. Yes, Jan.
Hey, no.
Okay. All right. So I thought she was just going to say something. On the bridge, usually the topics that we have, every time we come up with a topic, every time I come up with a topic, I try to arrive at something at the end of the show, and that's how I do the research for the topic. So what I wanted to arrive at the end of the show today was to tell people that there are things that they can do and there are things that people are doing, and you can actually join hands with people who are doing stuff. Just like Rashid Muhammad Eli's company is doing. They're actually giving veterans these skills and these tools that they can use in real life to find better jobs. So tell us about the first program that you started. Once you had the whole company set up, what was the first thing that you started doing, and what was the feedback for that?
Oh yeah, we when we got our funding from the government, we started our fiber optic training under telecommunication, and so we wanted to make sure that each veteran had certifications that would allow them again to travel nationally. So our certifications license and certify them to work anywhere in the United States, and that's what we wanted them to be able to have the ability to do. So we were given a small percentage of veterans to train to see how that pilot program went. We trained, we had 46, we trained 44. Everyone passed, they're certified.
Wow.
And then I did a special with ABC to show that one of the veterans actually went out and gained employment at about $75,000 a year just coming out of the training.
Right. And how long was this program?
Oh, yeah, the program is 40 hours. It's 1 week, or we can stretch it out for 30 days.
Wow.
They go in, they train, it's intense. We look, funny story, they think we test them on their ability. We actually look at the trash can. And so how much debris is left in the trash can, it kind of lets us know, oh, this person actually has been working on splicing.
Right.
So it's a measurable tool that we keep repetitive to make sure that the end product is pretty decent.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so think about this. If you ride around Houston and you see these little tubes come out of the ground, they look like multiple colors, orange, yellow, blue. They just stick up out of the ground. You're like, why is that tube?
Yes, I have seen something like that.
That is fiber optics being laid throughout the city.
Yes.
Okay.
So you got about 11% people using fiber optics currently in Houston area. They're going to increase that.
Right.
So AT&T, companies like AT&T, Comcast, Verizon roll off those lines. Those lines are very important for you to be able to use your digital devices.
Right.
So that's one of the subjects of the courses.
That's one of the subjects that we train in at EDS Tech training sites.
That's
Right.
Yes, we
fiber
focused
optic?
on that is fiber optics.
How long does that one take?
That's the 40-hour one.
That is the 40
yeah,
hour.
that is the
Oh,
40
wow.
hour. And we
Okay.
wanted to make it to where it did not have anyone in class for long periods of time.
Yeah.
We wanted to get them working as soon as possible.
Oh, wow.
They came out of the military with a telecommunication background, so it was just a matter of refresher and then getting them certified.
Got
Okay.
it. Got it. And if there are any veterans listening to us right now, or friends,
Or
of
friends,
veterans, or
yes.
family members of them, how can they reach out to you and find out about this program? And if they have a background that's different to telecommunications, what do you have for them?
Yeah, I mean, we work through the Texas Workforce Commission.
Okay.
We'll send them to those workforce solution centers. They then apply, and once they go through that process, and what they're looking for is veterans that are unemployed and that have a DD 214.
Oh, say that again. They know what that is, huh?
Oh, DD 214 is. Oh, okay.
I know.
just started
but I'm
rolling
sure
off
they
numbers,
do.
right?
That
Look,
person, the
yeah.
vet knows what that is.
So,
But I
yeah,
just wanted to know, what is a DD 214?
Is kind of pretty much our papers, and it has on there our information of what we did in the military,
Oh, okay.
and that we have been released from the military, and we're free to go into society now and pursue other options.
It's like that bio, that person's little short bio.
Yeah.
To release them to.
And it's like our papers, like, okay, you served, you successfully served, now you can go out in society, and you're ready to go.
Gotcha.
So typical, again, just to go back over that, they go to the Workforce Solutions. If they're interested in the telecommunication part of it, they present a DD 214. They're unemployed or self-employed at some cases, right? And they're able to have a background in telecommunication. So they are then vetted, and then allowed to come into the program at that point. After they
Right.
make the decisions.
Right. So how long has it been since you started this company?
Yeah.
And how many people have you trained through this? And how can people, collaborate with you? Like,
Right.
okay, I'm going to ask one question at a time.
Yeah, it's like three. I'm putting it down.
He's trying to
One,
put it in his
two,
mind. Okay, I'm
three.
writing it down.
Okay, let me answer the third one first. But,
Collaborate.
yeah. So with the community that we're speaking with and we're reaching out to now, they're business owners.
Right.
Right. And then, so if they're in this industry and they're looking to get into this industry, this is some of the benefits of hiring vets that the state of Texas has set aside for small businesses.
Right.
That's one. The other one is if you're a training facility or educational institution like your University of Houston's, Lone Stars, ACC, St. Jack,
Right.
then veterans go in there and they're actually paid for, so they actually attend school at no cost
Wow.
to go to the college. Now, that's good for the college because we're turnkey.
Exactly.
So college is like, oh, okay. They
Oh, that's
graduate. We know they're
right.
going to graduate because they're turnkey
They're
and they're taken care of.
turnkey.
Right.
And then entrepreneurship side of it is like if you got a business, think about this. 60% of Comcast business are subcontractors. Those guys that ride around with the decals on the side
And
of
they
their
are,
vehicle.
you're right.
They're business people. So we want to make sure that they stay in business. Or if they're in the community, they're in business, and it links up to what we're looking at. So what we typically do is go out and we speak with some of the businesses to actually match a MOS. And the MOS is a code inside of the military. It's just a job code.
Job code?
Right,
Okay.
that we title ourselves on. And we match it to what the business or the employer is doing.
And how long has it been going on, this, and how many people have actually?
Yeah, we've trained.
Successfully trained.
Yeah, we've trained outside of veterans about 500. We've been in business for last 3 years. We've been on our veteran project this year. So we've trained 44 out of 46, and so we're gearing up to train more coming next month.
Wow. Okay. So it happens like a monthly thing, and
Yeah.
can people come over and meet you guys and see how it's done? Because how you're saying, I'm trying to imagine everything.
Yeah,
how these
They have to
people-
go through the workforce, right?
Yeah, they have to go through the workforce. So we typically they
yes.
call us and they say, hey, we're interested, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, and we send them over to the workforce, any workforce center,
Any workforce center.
anyone in the Houston or Greater Houston area. They go and they ask for the program, and then
And they
give
just
it
have to say EDS.
Yeah, they'll meet with a vet rep. They'll go with a vet rep
Okay,
because
the
they have
vet rep.
specialized vet reps at each one of the centers.
Okay.
And you say, hey, I'm a veteran. I'm looking for a vet rep, or I'm a qualified candidate. So here's something that you may want to know. If you are married to a veteran, you're a qualified candidate.
Wow.
So
Okay.
you have some of the same
Note this
benefits
down.
that the
Okay.
veteran has.
Got
Okay.
it.
So you can come in and talk to us as well.
Got it. Wow. That's good.
And what happens afterwards? You're thinking of introducing some more programs into this?
I'm going to introduce some more programs. Drones being one, cybersecurity being the other. We deal with what they call HDOs, which are high demand occupancy jobs. We were discussing how about a water cooler, right? And we were just, we hit those ones that are looked upon as the most challenging ones to fill sometimes, and what the veteran has experienced in the military that's transferable into the civilian sector.
So when you say, I know drones, we talked a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about the cyber security. What's that entail?
Oh, cybersecurity. We link all our training to some type of a certification and license.
Okay.
So if that certification says that you need 80 hours or 60 hours to obtain that particular certification, we match that with your background and skill set, and we make you a happy match and give you off to a company that can utilize your services. Did I answer that?
Yes.
I got the
Lena's
pause.
head is going. She's
I got
deep.
the pause, and I'm like,
That means she's thinking. She's
No,
bringing
I'm,
it in.
I'm actually because I didn't. Much of this stuff, I did not know about.
oh yeah.
So yeah, she's
So-
absorbing it. It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
Okay, give example. We spoke with Amazon Enemy, and they said, hey, we want to hire 25,000 veterans.
Okay.
What does that mean? Well, that means that there is areas of cybersecurity drones that they're looking at, because Amazon is buying up a lot of
Drones.
and cyber
Drone
spaces.
delivery services, that's what-
with
yeah.
the pieces and stuff. So they're playing with stuff. So we want vets to do that in service. We find those, or we find the ones out of service, and we cross train them into it.
Okay. Wow.
That creates a lot of I must say that for a lot of people it brings about a big change in their life.
Oh, yes.
For those who are going through that time where they feel that they're stuck somewhere, and especially these people who have done nothing for years except for think how to protect their country, how to serve
Yes.
the nation. That's all they've been thinking about, and once they're out of that, for them who are not able to find any destination, or a destination comes later, any path they're trying to get onto. I think this could be great, because for a lot of people their work is their joy, and they want to do something that they want to do, and they're trained at doing, and it gives them that satisfaction as well. So I'd like to thank you so much, Eli, for making this whole idea come up together, and then making sure that you actually go ahead and execute it. So people who want to collaborate with you, as in partner with you and help you out,
Right.
your phone number that you want to share on air with people, any
Right.
email ID that you want to share on people.
Yeah.
People may have some ideas. There might be some high tech business owners. Elon Musk might
Right.
be listening to us,
Right.
and he would say, I want to do something here.
Right.
So,
right. So
you never know.
Definitely. If you want to reach out to us, it's www.edstech.org. That's our website. You can go visit there. Our phone number at the office is 713-955-7724. We get an office representative. You can speak with them. And if it's a business and they want to speak with us, you definitely can email me at Eli, is ELI, at edstech.org. And we'll set up a time where we can come out and assess the business, see what your needs are, and see how we can get that reviewed on the state level through the Texas Workforce Commission.
Wow. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all that information with us. And before we go any further, for those who have joined us right here in the studios, thank you so much for being with us right here on the bridge. My name is Lena Shah, and today we are talking about how we can give back to the veterans. We are trying to honor them, and we are trying to respect them. And Veterans Day is all the way in September. And, this is something that we need to do so much more often in the year. And November, I'm sorry. Yes. And this is something that we need to do so much more often in our life. We need to think about these people, because we are able to sleep at night with peace. We are able to celebrate all the holidays and all the weekdays even with our family, just because we are sure in our hearts that we are safe. And these are people who are keeping us safe on the borders and around the world as well, of course. And to talk about this, we had Jan Taylor from Revitalize Communities with us. And of course, we had Eli Rashim Muhammad in the studios with us, who is a U.S. veteran, of course, not just that, EDS Tech and Triple E. That's what he's representing. They're talking about how they're developing these certifications and these courses that are helping these veterans. I would like to request you to share a story with our listeners especially when you came back from service, and what you went through that actually triggered up the whole idea of doing this for everybody else. Because I remember you saying on air that, everyone does that, but everyone doesn't do that. We don't have so many people like you who have actually thought of not just doing it for themselves, because people start thinking, okay, let me do something for myself and then I'll think about everybody else. What triggered it? What was the triggering point? Share a story with us,
I'm
please.
going to share this one unique story that kind of probably ties all this in. I was in college, and I had a professor named Dr. Kalu, and he was talking about international business, setting up e-commerce. He was always talking about doing stuff from outside of the United States. So when I was in service and I was coming out, I had an option. I was like, do I go to school and further than get the education, or how do I create something that ties me in internationally to help others set up that same platform? But you got to think about this. In other countries, they have militaries too.
Right.
And what happens when they're out of service? So if you not to pick on any countries, I won't name any names here, but the people that end up being the coup in most of your countries overseas are people who were probably prior veterans. So sometimes when administrations change over, what happens to them?
Right.
What happens to the people in Goa, in India, Pakistan, when they finish serving, complete their service? Does the government take care of them? That's the big question,
Right.
And so when I would go over, I would hear the stories about how are we to take care of the people once they complete service. So they do look at the United States and try to figure out, how do we put benefit structures in place for our military once they stop serving in our countries overseas as well. So again, my name's Mohammed. So I dealt with guys from Turkey and Pakistan while I was in service.
Okay.
So I built relationships with them. I was in engineering at Savannah State.
And you were posted in Africa, you were mentioning?
No. My duty station was here in the United States, Traverse Air Force Base.
Okay.
But we would do TDYs. But I was saying, you asked me the question, and I was saying what gave me the idea was when I had these collective conversations with people.
All right.
And then I just kind of put them all in together and decided hey, the United States is a good platform, but there are other countries too that I would like to speak with on what are they doing for their veterans to keep them, taken care of after service. So it didn't matter if it was the Philippines, India, Pakistan, Africa. How do we take care of those who are serving your values?
Right. Wow.
And so that's what started me to going over to Africa and Niger and Ghana and Cameroon and these countries because I was interested in this is not a United States issue, it is a global issue that needs to be looked at and reviewed.
That's a really strong point.
That's
That's a strong point.
That's
so now you see why Muhammad on my name may open doors in other countries because they're going to look at that and say, Muhammad.
I'll talk to him.
I'll talk to him. And he's a vet too. Come over here and talk to us. Let's see. So this is a very good platform because I want to tie in the South Asian community. I want to tie in the Indian African community in the United States because guess what? They have family overseas.
Exactly.
And they have people who serve overseas. And these may be ways that we can improve their lives overseas as well.
Absolutely. Wow, that's amazing. So proud to have you in the studio. So proud to, Radio The Bang is feeling proud right now, to have you in our studios and you come on the mic and share these stories with us and tell us about not just your life, about your experience, but how you actually came to the point of doing something on a global level. And this is going to go very far and very big. I can see it happen right now.
Yes.
And I'd like to share with the listeners on air before we let you go that there's the story from India. And since these Bollywood celebrities are so big in India, Akshay Kumar is one of he's the guy that I'm talking about. He set up this app. And what the app does is that all the veterans, the Indian veterans, that's what he's doing it for. So he set up this app in which, and he goes on all the TV shows every time he's promoting his movies, and he's doing that all the time. He's making any public appearances. He promotes the app. Like he's like, this is me kind of promotions that he's doing. And what that app does is that it collects a very small amount of money from a lot of people.
Right.
And they have to reach a specific specific number, which is I think it's 1400,000 Indian rupees, something like that. I'm not too sure about that, but once that number is reached, that money is given to the family of that veteran,
Right.
and then the next one comes, and so there's a whole line of these people who would be benefiting from all the money that's coming together.
Wow.
So he came up with this idea of the whole country. The first time he did it, it was like in matter of hours that they got the first one, and he keeps
Right.
on promoting that, and he said the same thing that and he's done a lot of movies, though I don't think he's a veteran himself, but he's
Right.
done a lot of movies where he plays the character, and he's felt it so deeply that
Right. He's
he wanted
got
to
that
do something
connection.
about these
Right.
people. So you think there's something like that you can incorporate, within this Triple E,
Yeah.
EDS Tech?
Yeah, it's an open platform, so it allows growth. And what he created seems to be something of interest. I definitely would like to try to get a chance to meet him if I may. So the platform is set again to support communities. What Jan was speaking about, and you go from community to several communities make a city. Then you go from several cities make a state, and several states make a nation. And so we could make this transcend over in this platform, then it'll transcend into the world and make it a balanced place.
Wow, that's awesome. Jan, it was all Jan's initiative that, she thought of doing this. And once again, can you tell our listeners a little bit about Revitalize Communities itself? What is it that you do? And how did you come up with this idea of doing this? And what will we be doing in episode 2 as well? Give us a little heads up onto that.
Yes. First of all, I do want to say thank you for the platform, Lena. It's an honor to be here with you co-hosting. And when you talk about Revitalize Communities, which is my company I'm co-founder of, it lines up with what EDS is doing because the premise is to help the underserved, period. And vets are part of that group. And so when I speak out and I see that our premise is to go in and make a community, revitalize a community, it starts with training the mind, and that's a part of what he's doing, and then socially developing them. Once you do that, you tune it in and it automatically becomes economical growth. So the empowerment comes together, and I just saw partnership, yay, EDS, Debang, putting it together and being a part of the communities in that fashion. Of course, we have the greatest music. We do awesome shows here, but at the end of the day, we still have to be responsible. I feel like we take on that responsibility to give our listeners something more than the music. We're giving them something that they can take home and really feel and know that Lena comes up with these great programs every Wednesday and Thursday. And all the time she gets with me, Jan, what do you think? What can you do? So I appreciate you saying, okay, yeah, bring this one in and let's let it flow. So here we are developing a partnership that's going to go way beyond the music. And as a matter of fact, it actually tunes into the music, because when you talk about his relationship with film production, we have the relationship Bollywood of filming. There's a whole nother sector that can be developed right there,
I want
right?
to hit on that too.
So that's
right.
really, when I said I put this together, it was way beyond just sitting here talking about it. It was about really creating a platform to revitalize communities, putting things together that go a long ways. 15 years from now, I want people to be able to say, how did this come about? Oh, I was listening to Debang like 15 years ago, and I heard this story, and I went and I called EDS, and they changed my life.
Wow, that's
it.
awesome, Jan. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
So you can tell us about Bollywood.
Talking about the Bollywood and film connection,
Yes, yeah.
people are really crazy about these Bollywood, celebrities, Bollywood superheroes.
Oh,
they call
yes.
them, heroes and superheroes.
Oh,
but
yes.
I believe that the people who are serving their people, who are serving their country, they are the true heroes.
Yes.
They are the ones who have really, who in Urdu we call it lohe ka jigra. That means that who've got a heart made of iron, actually. So they take everything. They take bullets for you.
Okay.
And they face the enemy for you, and they're just gonna protect you no matter what. So these are the real heroes of the real lives who are right here in the studios with us and telling us what they're doing so much more for the community. Thank you once again, Eli, for being with us.
Thanks again for having me.
So when we come back next week, we'll be talking about about how we can connect the film production to the Bollywood, also as well as the disability benefits for those veterans that are disabled, and especially my heart is really strong with the mental health because I know that the research I've done, a lot of veterans are in that pocket, and if we can talk a little bit more about that next week, and also we'll have more detailed information about the programs in themselves and how actually I'd like to have a couple of his what would you call them, star or graduates or whatever, people to call in and actually tell you listeners what it meant, how they got started, and where they are now in their lives as it relates to EDS. So thank you again for accepting the invite.
Oh, cool. And when I hit on the film part, I want to speak about what we have going on in Atlanta because because we actually tied in.
Yes.
Can you hear me? All right, I'm sorry.
I
started fading all the way back.
Go ahead,
but
real quick.
So we can get on the film side of that too because there is a Fort McPherson that's in East Point, Georgia, that has a revitalized project going in play right now, and one of the residents is Tyler Perry.
Yeah, I was telling the owner Mike about that.
So somehow we all kind of mystically are connecting. So we can talk a little bit about that next week and some other things as well.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. And before we leave, Alyssa has been with us throughout the show in the studios. How did you feel about it? Tell us about that.
I learned so many things. I did not know anything about any of this.
Like in particular, what stuck out? So what, in particular, when you have a conversation today, what would be one of the things that you would probably tell someone that you didn't really know?
That there's this huge opportunity for veterans around the country and around the world to, step up and like they can do it. They can go to this. They can live their life.
Yes,
that's great.
There's a what do you call that? At the end of the tunnel, there's a light.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
I like that. I like how you put it, Jan. Thank you so much. And we're going to end the show on the same note as we started it.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, who spread stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight? All around boys we watched were so gallantly straightening, and the rockets made way. The bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave?
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alyssa. And before I let you go, thank you, veterans. Thank you for the job. Well done. Thank you for the battles won. Thank you for the battles fought. Thank you for the freedom you brought. Thank you for the time you served. Thank you for the freedom earned. Thank your families for sharing you. I know they miss you. They really do. I'm sorry for the lives that were lost. Freedom isn't cheap. It comes at a very high cost. I love my freedom, my red, white, and blue. Thank you, veterans, for all that you do. Thank you, Eli, for being with us.
Thank you for having me again.
Oh, that gave me goosebumps. Beautiful,
Yeah,
Lena.
I got that too.
Well said.
So we're going to be back with more episodes of The Bridge, of course, every Wednesday and Thursday, 12 noon to 1 p.m. And you can catch, if you just missed out, you can go onto the official page of Radio Dabang and find the entire live broadcast up there. And And we are we had some audio tech episode challenges in this episode today, some audio technical challenges. So we're going to fix that and upload a nicer, cleaner one in just a little bit. By tomorrow, that is. I'll be back with you at 3 or right after me. आपको join करने जा रहे हैं DJ Dolly Deep. He's making a comeback to Radio Dabang. Of course, he's going to be mixing live for you all the way till 3 p.m. And before I say goodbye for now, thank you, Jen.
Thank you, and everyone look out for Lena's page because she's going to be able to. She'll have some information about next week's show
for the Radio Dabang page.
Yes.
And thank you, Alyssa.
Thank you so much for having me.
And once again, thank you, Eli.
Thank you very much.
The music for the bridge has been provided by Kami Ji, and it's called You and Me. I'll see you all at 3 p.m. Have a great day.